All right, all right, all right. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for allowing this collaboration to happen. This was a great idea that you had. I've loved it since day one, and I just kind of want to start off by introducing myself, and then I'll give you an opportunity to introduce you, and then we'll take it from there. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
All right. Well, first of all, my name is Ralph Hoyos. I'm a member of the Gator community. I'm also a hard money lender. I run the private money division over at Suncrest Capital Group. And my goal here is to kind of show you what we do and how we're collaborating with Simply PML to get the ball rolling for 2025.
That's awesome. Should I introduce myself?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Dahe. I've been in Gator community for about 2 years now, and I've been focusing on PML. And because I've experienced so many challenges as a private money lender, I built a tool to make my life easier as well as other lenders.
That's amazing. Your tool works. For me, I feel like it's working. It just needs the additional push and additional people to come in and take a look. This should be a great place for people to go and find deals, both and present deals. It's a good place for just to kind of bring it together instead of having it in that community, showing through all the text, the actual posts. It's a great place to have everything together. I like this idea very much so.
Thank you. Thank you. So I can kind of go on, explain about why I created this Simply PML tool.
I
It does.
definitely would love to know why you created Simply PML.
Okay. So as a PML, I also have a full-time job. So in my experience, it takes too much time to source deals because people send me emails, people send me text, people send me messages on Facebook Messenger, and also I'm having to keep track of deals on Gator community as well as any other communities on Facebook groups. So it takes too much time to keep track of all that. Um, and I'm having to go back and forth for main key information because not a lot of people provide that upfront. And every deal is presented so differently. It takes so much time to kind of compare multiple deals at the same time. So that's why I built this to make my life easier as well as other lenders' lives easier. So my mission with this tool is to simplify the deal sourcing for busy PMLs. So
Mhm.
if you are a busy PML looking for one place to source and compare deals that have all the key information up front, you should check it out.
Speaking of checking it out, can you like share your screen with us and show us Simply PML, show us how the tools that it has and how you could kind of just log in and as a user and see what you have access to?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me share my screen so that I can show you. Share screen, and I'm gonna share my window over here. All right. Can you see that, Ralph?
I see it. I see it perfectly. This is the simplypml.com. This is what we'll see as soon as you get there.
That's right. So you on simplypml.com, you can view a lot of different deals. We have deals ranging from for loan amount ranging from 20,000 to up to 300,000, and also return ranging from 10% annualized to 20% flat. So depending on what you're looking for, you can find a lot of different deals here. Yes. And let me see. So
Could we take a look at that 2335 Lakewood Avenue property in Atlanta, Georgia, on the bottom right-hand screen?
yes, we absolutely can. So when you log in, you can see the full details, and I'll kind of show you what you can look at. Um, so for every deal, this platform helps gather all the essential information, so you don't have to spend time going back and forth to get the key information. So would you like to
Could you
walk
scroll, can you continue scrolling all the way down so that way, I would like to see what that with that investor, what you would see as you're scrolling
through?
through here.
Sure, yeah. So let me walk you through. So on this page for deal details, you can read about the market, neighborhood of the subject property, why this is a good investment, and you can check out key information like LTV, exit strategy, closing date, and then about the operator, and most importantly, key
The
information.
numbers.
Yes, the numbers. So you don't have to, ask about what the rehab cost is. It's all here up front, so that you can go ahead and do your own due diligence when you're ready.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and obviously you're gonna see what the loan amount is, what the return is, and for how long, lien position, and as well as what the loan is used for. And then make sure what kind of security you have, and read about the operator and the team, because that is very important
I
for
agree. I
successful.
agree.
Yeah. So yeah, feel free to browse different opportunities. Always inquire for more details if you don't feel like you have everything to make a good decision. And
So
do.
Dahi, what does that look like? So I say, listen, I like this deal.
Mhm.
I want to kind of be a part of it. What does that person do next? They just what? They hit inquire, and then they have a email that's sent to whoever posted that.
Yes, exactly. So if you are looking for more information, let's say you want to clarify something, and you can always message here, and this email will go directly to whoever posted, borrower or connector. Then you guys can have direct communication from there.
I like it. I like it. Now, I'll be honest with you, Dahe. I selected this property for a reason. So I myself, I post quite a bit of properties here. We do about 30 deals a month at Suncrest Capital Group. Can you go back a second just so we could look at all the properties? No, no, no. Kind of
Yep.
click back so you could see all the open properties you had available.
Mhm.
So a significant amount of these properties are actually Suncrest Capital Group properties. And if you were to like one of these deals and you would inquire, you would get either myself or my assistant, and we would respond back to you. Hey, do you mind if I take over the screen for a second?
Go for it.
Okay. So let me you need to stop sharing your screen so I can share mine.
All right. Let me stop. Let me figure this out.
Yeah, we'll edit this part out.
Yeah.
So on the
Um,
bottom, there's an option where it says to share screen.
yeah.
Um, you got to click on it again to stop sharing.
Okay. Did I think I'm still sharing. Let me.
Yes, you're still sharing. Also, sometimes all the way at the top of the screen, you have like a green bar that says that you're sharing your screen.
Okay. I did click on that share again. And how do I stop? Okay, I'm still sharing. Yeah, I should be able to do this. Should practice.
Hey, come on now.
I know, yes.
We got 40 minutes.
Okay. How do I unshare? Let me, okay, maybe you can help me.
So it won't let me because it says you cannot share screen while the other participant is sharing.
So I'm here, right? So when I click share, this is the screen that I'm seeing. So I'm sharing this screen right now. So I don't see where I am able to unshare. This is not it. No,
You got how many screens do you have on your computer?
3.
All right, yeah. This is what happens when you have all these screens. I
Okay, let me edit. No, share. So if I share, can I just exit this out?
There you go.
Okay, I should have tried that earlier.
All right. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
All right, so welcome back. We had a pause for a second here so as we started switching the screens. Now, this I want to share with you are the kind of supporting documents you would get from us at Suncrest Capital Group if you were interested in a deal. So for instance, that Lakewood property that we were looking at, this is one of the documents you would receive. This is the term sheet. Now, this term sheet is designed for our borrower. It's going to go over how much he's purchasing it for, how much his construction holdback or rehab cost is going to be. It's going to say what his monthly interest rate is, how much money we're making on the deal, our fees, so on and so forth. This is actually that third party titles and fees is also needs to be included in this amount. Um, this is how much we're actually going to be loaning day one. It talks about what his projected ARV is, what his experience is, what his minimum, well, it'll always say FICO 640 plus, the name of the borrower and the subject address. Now, if you notice, there's typically when we do deals like this, we're typically funding all of the down payment, closing cost, insurance, and fees in that optional PML. Now, I know it says second position because we're trying to give this to the borrower so that in a way where he understands what we're trying to do here. Now, for this particular deal, this deal is going to be a 6-month deal. It's going to be funded at 20% flat. When we do it at a 20% flat, we give Simply PML 1% for hosting the deal on her platform. It does cost money to do all the developing and dev stuff here. So this liaison fee is our company fee. And then, of course, we have that transactional coordinator fee. Now, this right here is just kind of giving you the details of the numbers. And for that, we put it in our deal analysis calculator. We'll put the months, we'll put that again, purchase price, that after repair value. We put an estimated 3% for reselling because they don't have to technically pay for the other person's. And plus, his partner is a realtor. His rehab budget, what our hard money loan is, what his total APR would be. Now, I remember if we go back here, I have 60,550 as the estimated amount. Now, the reason why it's that much, not all of the money he needs, because he needs to come to the table with $16,349 in order to get this deal closed, is because we capped them at 80% of loan to ARV. We feel that anything above 80% is too much risk for us, and not just risk, but like a financial risk for him too. It could become a burden. Now, we know this deal. Let me just kind of pull up his appraisal. This is what you'll also get. You'll also get a copy of his appraisal. Um, and I always go to page 5 first. Now, page 5 will tell me what the current condition of the property is, what the estimated as is value of the property, what that budget would be, the estimated target ARV. Now we look at this right here. This is what we pay most attention to. Now, for instance, he could get to this targeted 285 ARV, provided that his rehab budget was increased to 142,510. But also, we're letting them know that, a lot of his costs are built into his labor costs are built into his pricing of his materials because he is a general contractor. So, so his labor is significantly less than everybody else's. We are giving him that 285,000 ARV, um, and based on him being a general contractor, we're looking at an 89-day potential rehab time with the estimated cushion time to sell 46 days with the extra 30 days. He should be out in about 165 days. What I also like about this is that it tells you the market demand of the actual deal. Now, I'm 100% sure that they're using a lot of AI to come up with these analysis because this, I mean, essentially, this is a someone's opinion. Appraisal is just an opinion of somebody's what they say that value is of the property as well as um, the value of the property and its value of the market. Now, what they do is they take all the comps in the area. Here goes all the comps that they're using. Now, when someone tells me, oh, what comps? How are you comping the property? Honestly, I'm not comping the property. We're having a third party appraiser do all that. They go in, they do the inspection, they look at the scope of work. They're determining, what to compare it to. I I'm not in that market. I'm not an appraiser in that market. Yes, I've been a property appraiser in the past, but I would have to do a real deep dive market analysis in order to determine what that price value and what the comps I should use should be. I much prefer to use a third-party licensed appraiser to do that for us. That's what we do here. So it'll show you all those as-is comps and all those after repair comps. It'll show you what properties they did use and which ones they didn't use. And then when you scroll down towards the bottom, it's going to show you the photos of the subject property. This is what the property looks like now. It's rough. This is a heavy rehab. The good thing is this borrower, general contractor, like I mentioned before, he's actually doing ground up projects on the very same block. And when he purchases this property, he also is getting the next two lots next to it. So he's going to be doing ground up construction on the two lots that are adjacent to this subject property. Just so that we get his business license, his contractor license, all before we even consider him for the funding on this job. We also go over his scope of work. This is his scope of work right here. This is me going through everything. I'm looking, he's got permits, he's pulling, you know, his insurance he's putting in there, his demolition costs he's putting in there, exterior walls, framing, roofing, exterior. He's building an addition onto the property to make this property a hair bit bigger to keep up with the other properties that are in the neighborhood.
This is very detailed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, think about it. We're loaning about 80% of all the money on the front end without him he's putting in a little money on this deal, but a lot of times some of our customers aren't putting anything on the front end besides the cost of this appraisal and feasibility study. So right here, we also show that we built in a 5% contingency, and we also build in the draws and wire fees for the draws already into the scope.
Mhm.
Now, you would also get this. This is the experience sheet. This is us showing some of the experiences. Now, he's got 60 completed projects in the last 12 years, but we only need to see 7 to qualify him at the highest rate to do the rehab. So he only gave us 8. But I mean, I have I have other rehab closed HUDs that I could share with you if you wanted to see additional ones. Now, granted, this one I actually just received a soft commitment on it. They're just reviewing all this paperwork that I'm showing you here. This is like I said, their contractors, their appraisal. This is what you could expect. Let me stop sharing my screen. This is what you could expect when you're looking at simply PML at deals, that deals are vetted this heavily on the front end. And not only are they vetted this heavily on the front end, all this information is being provided to you for you to also go on and vet the deal. Now, listen, we're not saying that what we're, don't trust me at all. I want you to go back to that, to Richard Values and just make sure, hey, is this a real appraisal? I want you to look at the comps that they're using and just see it for yourself if this is what you think is real, and go over the numbers yourself too. Use your own kind of calculator if you need to. Plug the numbers in. If you feel like the deal is solid enough and this is something you want to lend on, great. If you want to learn more about the borrower, not only are the numbers got to be good, but I feel like the borrower itself has to be good. If the borrower is an experienced licensed general contractor, and I'll go over it a little bit with you. He's got 60 houses he's completed in the last 12 years. He's done several ground up construction projects. He's got 20 full-time employees, as well as a group of subcontractors that he works with. I'll share his website and his Instagram for you to see some of the past projects he's done. I mean, the man he's a whiz. So when you start factoring all that stuff together, then you start to say, okay, well, you know what? I like Sam. I like this deal. Let me put my money into this deal and know that it's going to be solid. Now, remember, I just said he's doing other ground up projects. Let's say he gets a tad bit late on, or to sell, or he's taking a little bit longer than the 6 months. He's making money on other ground up projects too. You know what I mean? He's going to have money. He's right now got 40K liquid to put towards these deals and any of the deals that he was telling me. Now that's great. He finishes this project, he finishes the other project. Well, let's say he finishes the other project first. Now he's made an additional 60, 70K, right? This deal, how much did he need? I think it was like 60,000. He already had 40. As he's doing the work, he's getting monies back on the draw. He could easily pay off that investor. God forbid he's going a little late just to avoid the penalty. $100 a day penalty. Now, hey, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you how we protect the money because I feel that's very important. In your portal, in your website, it says first lien. Now, it's not technically a first lien per se because I'm the lien holder as a hard money lender. What we do is we bring the investors into the deal as a partner. We make them a 51%, all the investors, a 51% member of that borrower's LLC, the LLC that is purchasing the property. We make sure it's a clean LLC, that there's no other assets tied to it. We also make sure that they're held harmless against any debts or liabilities on that LLC. We also bring them into a JV agreement, which I like to call the private money loan docs. It talks about how much money they're contributing. It talks about how much they're going to be earning as interest. It talks about that $100 a day penalty I just mentioned.
Mm.
It even talks about, God forbid, they needed to take over the deal, which all of last year, not one property. I do hundreds of these a year. Not one property had to take it over. Granted, there were some lates, but if you had to take over, it even talks about how much additional income you would earn based on having to act as a project manager on the deal instead of just having a passive role. We also are now implementing personal guarantees and promissory notes on every deal. They cannot be recorded as lien positions, and that's for your safety because there's usury laws in place, and 20 or 19% flat over the course of a year is significantly higher than the usury law of the state. Reason why we're bringing you in as a partner. Then we also file a memorandum, an affidavit of memorandum in the county where the property is located. So that way on the exit, title knows that there's a JV agreement on the deal. They know to reach out to the involved parties for their payoff letters. It kind of acts as a lien, but it's not a lien.
Makes sense.
That's how we protect the investors.
Wow. That's so impressive. There was no default last year.
Not one default last year. Not
I
one.
Yeah, I love that you already have all this information when somebody wants to see it. Because
Well,
that's
yes, the one thing that I may be, waiting on might be that appraisal that from Richard Values. Sometimes we are waiting for that to come in. Once that comes in, that's when the full analysis gets done. In the interim, while we're waiting for that, we're doing credit check, we're doing a background check. We have underwriting looking at their background and credit. There's anything that needs to be addressed, we're having them address it then as we're waiting for that appraisal to come in. Once that appraisal comes in, we're re-reviewing the numbers, making sure the numbers jive still and they work for both parties. And if they do, then hell, man, we keep it going.
awesome. Um, I think, for a beginner, a private money lender, would you suggest them kind of getting familiar with a lot of these deals and kind of practice comping, maybe looking at different numbers and reaching out to you, asking questions?
They could definitely reach out to me and ask questions. And yes, they could also go out and look and try to do the comping themselves as well. But here goes at the end of the day. They're novices compared to a licensed real estate property appraiser. At the end of the day, we're going off what they say.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if we're comparing skills, we definitely want to rely on professionals that's been doing for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and professionals that are not just they're third party professionals. Like they don't work for us. The way we go through an AMC, which is an appraisal management company, the way that works is they bid on the deals. We have no idea who's doing that appraisal at all whatsoever.
Hmm, gotcha. Yeah. Um, was there anything else you wanted to share? How to maybe look at a deal, or about your process, about this deal?
So the looking at all that paperwork that I was showing you in the front end, that's how I look at a deal. That's how I'm reviewing it. I'm paying attention mostly to the numbers at first. I want to make sure that we're within 70% of the ARV for the purchase and rehab section. Then once I figure out those numbers, then I can determine what our down payment is going to be. And I have usually a rough estimate on what that closing cost and insurance might look like. And then if those numbers combined with that loan amount is within 80% of the ARV, then I kind of like the deal. I'm willing to continue looking at it. If it's anything above 80%, I won't fund over that 80%. I'm never overfunding over 80% loan to combined loans to the ARV. They would have to come up with that at the closing table in order to close. And quite frankly, if they can't, then obviously they didn't have enough money to fund this deal in the first place because they're still going to need their own money to start the rehab in order to get paid out on the draws. We don't just give them the money in advance. They got to earn those draws back from us.
Right, right. That makes sense. Okay. Um, what's next? How can private money lenders contact you?
Well, there's multiple ways. The best way for the sake of this call is to log on to Simply PML, right? They go on to Simply PML, they become a user, they click on the deals they find most interesting. Then they inquire, right? That's the whole beauty of our partnership. And if you want to see a little bit more about me, you can also come to suncrestpmlportal.com to kind of take a look at some of the deals that we have. You could also, that's also the place where our investors can go to view all the updates of the deal that they're a part of. Also progress photos. I mean, it's too much for us to call every single investor monthly for an update. So we post it all on the portal for them. And if you want to become an investor, there's a form there that you could fill out as well, and we'll get you on our investor list, and you could, start seeing some of the deals we're able to offer.
Oh, I love that you can, without asking manually, you can get the progress update photos
Oh
regularly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, 100% full transparency is what I actually aim for. Now, sometimes it's a little difficult getting the photos back. We could typically, every 30 days, 35 days within those, that time frame, I'm definitely having communication with that borrower. Here goes the thing. Sometimes I know that when we're calling, we're, they got W-2s too sometimes, or they're in the middle of a rehab and they're, the phone, they can't hear the phone. So when my assistant gives them a call to get that update, they just can't hear it. And when they finally are able to get back to us, it's usually after hours. And I'm the one who's taking that call. And then I'll go and I'll give my assistant that update, and then he's then emailing it. And we also email those updates to the investors as well.
Oh, that's nice. I know the communication between lender and borrower, that's, one of the most important things that I keep hearing when I talk to lenders, what they
Mhm.
want.
I
Oh,
agree. Without that communication, it doesn't breed confidence in wanting to allow you to maintain management authority over that project if you start to go past your term.
great, right. All right. What else should we share?
Do we have any additional questions on your list there?
Um,
I
I
think you
think
had a couple of more questions on there that you could ask that I
where,
think would be beneficial.
okay. So we talked about how to look at the numbers and how you provide all the supporting documents to back up those numbers, how you vet the borrower, um, and how to secure the investment. Let's see. And what happens when the borrower stops responding or is late? Did we
So if
touch
a
on that? Yeah.
so let's say a borrower is in a rehab and he's become uncommunicative, right? Now I'll be honest, not one time last year did I have that. So I'm telling you what we will do because we don't have this issue. But if we did have this issue, we would, one, continue the calls. He's got a month to get back to me. If he can't get back to me within that month, between my phone calls, my emails, and my actual hard paper snail mail, if they're not getting back to me within those 30 days, we're gonna hold a vote and assume management authority over that property and get that investor in on the deal to take over. And if they don't want to take over, we'll take over for them. We'll
Hmm.
use that rehab budget that he already has to complete the rehab and get that deal done just so that way everyone can get paid back. And if that has to happen, well, they'll get their 20%, they're flat on their money, their earned interest, but they're going to get an additional 20% of the profits for having to act as a project manager.
Hmm. Wow. Okay, I didn't. That's good to know.
And it's spelled out in the JV agreement.
Okay. Hmm. Um, what else? Okay, to tell you essential details. Okay, I think we covered it all.
I think we covered it all too. And I think that what we have here is a great collaboration between two different companies. I think what you're doing is amazing. We can't do what we do without people like you two. I not only do I need to find a place just like you, I run a private money division. I can't sit here and be on every Zoom meeting and, answer every WhatsApp message and messenger and post. And I get tagged on so many different things, and I'm a part of so many different other projects beyond, raising capital for these deals that we need you. What you're doing is amazing. I think everybody should become a user, at least if they're interested in doing PML. Become a user, take a look at solid deals that are presented in order, and just knowing, just because I put up a lot of the deals there too, it's not like just cookie cutter. It has to be approved. You have to put all the information in there or else it's not going to get approved. There's a process just to get onto the site in the first place. Not anybody could just post any deal randomly. It needs to be approved prior. So know that you got two different sets of eyes on the deal. Know that you have good real estate professionals who are here to help guide you. And when you're ready to make this embarkment on PML, you have this team and squad behind you.
Oh, that it was amazing. Thank you for those kind words. I am trying to get some traction on more users coming onto the platform. And you can just visit simplypml.com as a lender as well as a borrower or connector to post your deals. And if you have any questions to contact me, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Tahei, or Instagram, tahei.lender. Then we can chat and answer any questions you have. So,
All
yeah.
right. Thank you again. And I think that